Hi everybody, I'm KHOU 11 Meteorologist Pat Cavlin here in Houston, Texas. It is Monday, November 4th, 2024, and here is your tropical update. Believe it or not, it is still hurricane season all the way until November 30th, and we are tracking a new tropical system. This is Tropical Storm Rafael. It is in the Caribbean, so here's Jamaica, here's Cuba, there's Hispaniola, and then down to the south we've got South America. And this storm is pretty much in the middle of the Caribbean right now, moving to the north-northwest at just about 10 miles per hour, wind sustained at 45 miles per hour. This storm is starting to look a little more organized on satellite this evening, and we are expecting it to strengthen pretty quickly here as we go through the next few days. In fact, by tomorrow, it will likely become a Category 1 hurricane. From there, reaches Category 2 hurricane status as it approaches the western half of Cuba. And then after that, it moves into the Gulf of Mexico, expecting this to emerge in the southeastern Gulf sometime Thursday morning as a Category 1 hurricane. And then from there, the big question is, where does it go? And the quick answer is we don't know yet. But this is the official track from the National Hurricane Center. And it does give us a very wide envelope of possibilities, going anywhere from Florida to Louisiana, could go towards Texas, could just kind of dissipate here in the central Gulf. So we don't know exactly where it's going yet, but what we do know is that the storm will weaken, going from a Category 1 hurricane down to a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm. And the time frame on this is Saturday afternoon. So the most likely impact from this system will be felt as early as Saturday evening, but it could linger getting into the start of next week. So here's what FutureTrack has for it. This is our high-resolution in-house FutureTrack model. Notice moves over the Isle of Youth and the western half of Cuba as we get towards Wednesday. Pretty compact looking system, and typically smaller storms like this are able to fluctuate their intensity a little faster. From there, the storm moves very quickly back over open water, still looking at Wednesday night here, now getting into early Thursday morning, makes a close brush there with Key West, and then watch how the forward motion really starts to slow down. So now it's not racing north anymore. It starts to slow down and kind of stall out here as we get into Thursday. And that's because it'll be interacting with a frontal boundary that will be draped across the southeast towards the end of the week. And that frontal boundary is going to have an impact on exactly where the storm goes. But a lot of our computer simulations do take this storm somewhere to the west. So notice we have a little bit of a bow in the consensus lines there. So all of the white lines here indicate different model solutions. The black lines indicate the average of a bunch of these models. We call them consensus lines. So we see a little bit of a jog to the left, and then eventually something going back up towards the north. But there's a lot of model members still that take this storm out towards the west. So we still don't really have a good idea of what happens once it gets to the Gulf of Mexico. But what we do know is that it will end up in the Gulf as a hurricane, and it will start to weaken as it moves north. Now, why will it start to weaken? A lot of wind shear is present across this area, especially this time of year, and that's what we're seeing right now. The reason for that is as we get into the fall and the winter months, the jet stream comes a lot farther to the south, right? That's what brings us those shots of cooler air. And this week is no exception. We've got the jet stream really far south. All of that wind energy with the jet stream is going to help to shred this thing a bit, and it's going to disrupt the flow and disrupt the intensity of the storm. And so this system will start to weaken on approach to the northern Gulf Coast. It'll still have impacts wherever it ends up, but I don't think we're talking about a major hurricane here if we see a U.S. landfall. So again, just a reminder, it's still hurricane season. Hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th. That's been the case since the 1960s. The season does peak on September 10th, but we can get storms anytime in or even out of the season. We've had storms before in December and January. We've had them before in April and May. So it's not unheard of, but it is unusual to see, one, a tropical system in November, and two, to see a tropical system make landfall in the month of November. It's unusual, but it's not unheard of. So we'll be watching the system as we go through the rest of the week. That's the main focus in the tropics right now. Stay tuned for updates as we go through the next few days.